this week, episode 7. What a wonderful platform we have here, and the powerful knowledge loaded that can renovate, that can refresh, that can recreate your relationship. Don't forget that this platform have a specific assignment in your life. And the word F.I.N.D relationship is just an acronym that is that defines why this platform exists. The letter F is just to help you to figure it out, to figigure out your spouse. This platform will help you to figure out your spouse. The word I is talking about integration. We understand that when two people come together in a relationship, there are possibilities of value difference, orientation, culture, a lot of differences in their life. Does not mean that they are not compatible. So there is need for integration of value. There's need for integration of visions in order for them to become one in relationship. The end stands to help you to navigate against all odds. In every relationship, there are conflicts. In every relationship, there are situations that are required, that militates, that comes against every relationship. So this platform, the truth that is coming from this platform, helps you to navigate against every odds in your relationship. Then the D is talking about helping you to drive your relationship into that blissful, harmonious stage that you are dreaming about. So that's what this platform is all about. That's our vision. And we are targeting to reduce the number of divorce, which is skyrocketing to be 50%. That's the current value globally, 50% divorce rate. So this platform is to help you solve a particular problem and challenges in your relationship. But you can help us also, because we cannot do it alone. You get to come into this platform with great commitment. Commitment to hear in order to receive the information that this platform brings on board to you. Not just to hear, you need to accept the truth, the realities that are being dished out unto you here week in, week out. And not just to accept it, you need to digest it so that it can benefit you. But beyond digestion, practice it, put it to practice. We have testimonies of many marriages here in Cape Town and beyond that have gone well because of this platform and this valuable information that we're bringing to you. Just practice it. When you practice it, you become a model of this truth. And beyond practicing it, you need to teach it. Get somebody, get some people. You are an influencer of a particular relationship in your community. And by so doing, we all are in partnership to bring solution to our world. It's there up to you. Just partnership with us. Get down, if you've not been able to subscribe, get down to the YouTube channel, Life Men the World Mission, and subscribe for this. Subscribe for the channel, and then click the bell so that you will be notified each time that we are online. Right, today I'm dealing with a very important subject in our relationship, building foundation for a lasting marriage, a lasting marriage relationship. That's exactly what I'm going to do today. I'm taking this teaching from two powerful Word of God, the principles of the Word of God. The first one is taken from the book of Psalm chapter 11 verse 3. The book of Psalm chapter 11 verse 3 says, if the foundation be destroyed, what shall the righteous man do? If the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous man do? Actually, there's nothing. Now, you need to understand that he's talking about a man who have done everything right, but the foundation he's standing upon is faulty. The righteousness there is not righteous, the gift of righteousness. It's the gift is the righteousness by right doing. So if a man have done every single thing right, but the platform, the foundation he's standing upon is faulty, what can he do? Apparently, there's nothing you can do. If you have furnished your house, build it powerfully, put all expensive gadgets in your heart, furnishing is so powerful, Italian chairs and every single thing, but the foundation of the building is faulty. Apparently, the building will come down, it will collapse. So that's the first principle that we are building on today. The second one is the teaching of our Lord Jesus Christ in Matthew chapter 7. In Matthew chapter 7, verse 24 to 29. In that particular teaching, Jesus talked about two kinds of builders. One was a wise builder who built his house on a rock, and when the rain descended, the flood came up, the wind came up, the house did not fall. The rain could not bring it down, the flood could not bring it down, the wind blew, but it could not bring the building down. Jesus said the reason is just because the man built a solid foundation on a rocky ground. And that's the reason all those aspects of our confrontation could not bring down the building. Then he gave us the analogy of another builder in the same chapter, in the same verse. He gave us another builder who he called a foolish builder. This foolish builder built not on a rocky foundation, but he built an ordinary sand with a poor foundation, and nobody knew the extent of that foundation, the quality, the integrity of the foundation. Nobody was aware of it until the rain descended, until the flood came up, until the wind came. When the wind came, the rain descended, the flood. The same situation that came upon the building of the man who built on a solid ground with a solid foundation. The same rain, the same flood, the same wind brought his building down. But the man who built on a solid foundation, the afflictions, the wind, the flood could not bring down his building. And Jesus let us understand from that particular teaching in Matthew chapter 7, verse 24 to 29. I want you to settle down, read it. Jesus said it was not about the wind, it was not about the flood, it was not about the rain, it was all about poor foundations. So I'll be speaking to you from this today. The question here is, what is the role of foundation in bringing you to a blissful marriage? What's the role? What's the role of foundation? If you understand what foundation is all about, you will understand that the foundation of your relationship is one of the most important aspects of your relationship. Foundation of a building is usually the hidden part of the building under the ground. Is usually the hidden part of it because nobody sees the foundation. The foundation is the hidden part of your building. But the work of the foundation is that it transfers the weight of the building and distributes the weight of that building under the ground. It transfers and it distributes the weight of the building under the ground. In other words, it is the strength of the foundation, is the work of the foundation to take up the building, to take up the weight of the building and everything that is in the building, transmit and distribute the weight under the ground. It then means that each time you are ready to build anything, not just the relationship is one of them. It can also be physical building or life visions or your dreams or your business. Every area of your life that you are looking forward to build, it is important that you give ultimate priority and value and attention to the integrity of the foundation of the building that you are building. And this now we are keying into marriage. Marriage is important that you watch the foundation. That you watch foundation. Many years ago, one of my spiritual sons, I can still remember him, Emmaobo. He is an architect, and he had a lot of contracts of so many buildings in Lagos that he was building at that particular time. And he took me around the buildings in Lekki. He took me around the buildings in different places in Lagos. And I was just learning and watching how he was building the foundations. I saw different foundations. He would tell me, Pastor, this is a rough foundation. And he would say to me, Pastor, this is an ordinary foundation. So I began to ask questions. Why must you do a rough foundation at this particular place? He would tell me, we are doing rough foundation because this place is flooded, is waterlogged. If we do a normal foundation in this particular soil, the building is about to collapse. Then I discovered that there are two major things that decides the kind of foundation you build. Two people can be building the same building, but there are two major things that decides the kind of foundation they build. Number one is the quality or the condition of the soil, the ground where you're building upon. The condition and the quality of the ground that you're building upon decides the kind of foundation that you're going to build. And another one is the quality or the kind of building that you're building. The kind of the building decides the kind of foundation that you build. You can't use an ordinary foundation in a waterlogged place. Take, for instance, in your family, there are all history of divorce and marriage breakdown. Your senior sister got married, she's at home right now. Your junior sister, the same thing. 4, 5, 6. That is that serial divorce cases in your family. You're going to look for a better foundation if you really want to survive in the things that happen to others. You really need to get into foundation. Look at the foundations, the kind of foundation in your family that can survive, that can make you survive what broke down other people's marriages. Now, having said that, three major things, there are some characteristics of foundation. There are things that you need to know about foundation. Powerful things that you need to know about foundation, especially when you're building relationship. The first thing that you need to understand is that foundations are hidden. Foundations are hidden. One of the characteristics of foundation is that foundations are hidden. You don't build foundation in an open space. You build foundation, the foundation of the building is hidden. It is not something that you build in an open place. Check every building. You will discover that the part of the building that is visible to everybody is not the foundation. The foundation is hidden. I watch these guys digging right inside. They are down inside, digging deep. The deeper is the higher the building. They get down there, they dip into it. And you need to understand that foundation is hidden. The foundation aspect of your marriage got to be in a hidden space. You see, so many of the young people, I need to correct you here, so many of the young people, the moment somebody approaches you that asks your hand in marriage, the first thing that you do is that you post the pictures of the person on a profile, your WhatsApp profile. You scatter it all over Facebook. That's wrong. Because at that particular stage of that relationship where you have attracted a person, you still need to build foundation. And that foundation is not going to be in the open space. Foundation is hidden. The second thing about foundation is that foundation is unattractive. foundation is unattractive. Imagine somebody who have in the drawing board to build an edifice, massive edifice. You have the eyes, the dreams of building 25-story building on a particular place. I bet you when you start digging the foundation, nobody is going to congratulate you. What you are digging, when you're digging up the rubbish, you're digging up the mud, nobody is going to come to celebrate you. Why? Because foundation is unattractive. So you need to understand that the stage of building foundation of your relationship is a time when you don't expect everybody to congratulate you. It's not a time that you expect everybody to give you accolades. It's a time that you are in a hidden space and you are building something that is not attractive to anybody. It's not attractive. So there are facts that you need to look into in the time of foundation. And I'm going to deal with that in a short while. The third character of foundation is that foundation is rough. Foundation is ugly. Foundation is ugly. Foundation is rough. If you watch the foundation of a building, you find out that nobody uses polished stones in order to build foundation. They take rough, hard, quality, strength-wise, all those things to build the foundation. So foundation is not a place where you polish the stones. It's rough, it's hard. I will never forget one of my sons that traveled from Cape Town down to West Africa to get married. And he didn't know anybody. He got down there, and after 2-3 weeks, he called me on phone. He said, "Hey, Pastor, I found somebody to marry." I said, "Do you know the person before?" He said, "No, I didn't know the person." He said, "But I want you to talk to her." I said, "Okay, there's no problem. Put me on phone. Put me online with her." He connected me. The first question I asked the lady shocked the lady, and she busted crying. Because I said to her, I said, "Do you know this man?" He said, "Yes, Pastor, I know him." I said, "What do you know about him?" He said, "He is a kind guy. He is a handsome guy. His heart is so sweet. He has the fear of God. He has every good thing that I know about the young man." She told me. Then I asked her, I said, "The next question I'm going to ask you is going to be a difficult one, but I want you to answer me sincerely." I said to her, I said, "What is his weakness?" She blanked out and said to me, "I don't know his weakness." I said, "Then you don't know him." She busted into tears. The young man took the phone and was very, very angry with me. And the anger was, "What did you say to this lady that made her to cry?" I said, "No, I just asked a foundation question. The foundation question is, do you know his weakness?" I want you to understand that you don't know anybody until you know their weakness. If you know the strength and the abilities of your spouse, it is not enough knowledge for you to get into that relationship. Because you are not going to have challenges with the abilities of someone in a relationship. What you are going to battle with is the weaknesses of the person in the relationship. And you need to know the weaknesses of the person before you say, "I do." If you don't know the weakness of a person, you don't know the person actually. So a foundation knowledge, a foundation stone, a foundation understanding of your spouse demands that you know the weaknesses of the person, because when the euphoria of relationship, the romantic attraction, when it is all over, you are going to see the weaknesses that has been there, but you did not acknowledge or notice that that relationship had been there. And all of a sudden you say, "I didn't know that this was who you were before I said I do." No, those weaknesses did not develop because you came in. Those weaknesses was still there before ever you met with the person, but you were too much in adrenaline chemical love, and that was why you were not able to see those weaknesses. So I'm telling you this, foundation is a rough space to be. Foundation is something that you need to understand. I've given you three or four characteristics of it. Number one, it's a hidden place. Number two, it is unattractive. The third thing that I said about the characteristics of foundation is that foundation is rough, dirty, and ugly. It is not a place to show on Facebook. It's not a place to show in Instagram. It's not a place to post in social media. If you are really building a relationship that will last, you need to get down and lay the foundation. There are two major laws that will guide you in building relationship foundation or foundation of anything. There are two major laws. The first law is what I call the law of roots. The law of roots, R-O-O-T-S, the law of roots. The law of roots says roots precedes results. I want you to say it with me. Roots precedes results. What it actually means is that when you are building, you need to understand that you are not qualified to go up until you have gone down. You need to dig, go down, get it rooted before ever you come up on the top. Roots precedes results. Don't expect results until you have gotten it rooted. So you need to make sure that you are getting your root down for you to have the expected result. So many people, the moment they come into relationship, they expect results. When there is no root, they want result because they are looking for something quick. They are looking for something, I need result. But relationship demands, the law of foundation says, you are not qualified to see results until the root is down. The second law is what I call the law of achievement. The law of achievement. In building relationship, in building foundations in relationship, you need to understand the law of achievement. What does the law of achievement say? The law of achievement says that achievement is a process, not an event. Achievement is a process, not an event. In other words, you don't need a shortcut. Follow the due process. Achievement demands that you follow process. Don't use shortcuts. Otherwise, shortcuts in relationship will end up becoming a long cut. If you violate the principle of shortcut, of achievement, following the due process, somewhere along the line, life is going to bring you back to something that you jumped, you leaped over, that you didn't pay attention and satisfy it in order to go up. You don't need to use pregnancy to trap the man so that he can marry you. You don't need cohabitation so that you can get the man or the woman to get hold of you. You don't need deception. You need achievement demands that you follow process and not event. It's not going to happen that way. Now there is this tree, we call it Chinese bamboo. The Chinese bamboo is a solid illustration of these two principles of the law of foundation. The Chinese bamboo in the Far East. Chinese bamboo is one of the most powerful trees that grows in the Far East. The Chinese bamboo, in the process of cultivating the Chinese bamboo, it takes 5 solid years for the Chinese bamboo to grow. It takes 5 solid years. In other words, in the process of its cultivation, those who plant Chinese bamboo have to nurture it, fertilize it, and water it on daily basis for 5 years before ever it begin to break the ground. 5 solid years. Can you imagine watering, nurturing, fertilizing a particular seed for 5 good years on daily basis, yet you don't see it germinate, yet you don't see it come up, yet you don't see it grow for 5 good years? But you know what? At the 5th year of a Chinese bamboo, in the next 5 weeks, it grows into 90 feet tall. In the next 5 weeks, the moment it hits 5 years, the next 5 weeks, it hits 90 feet tall. The question then is, did it take the Chinese bamboo 5 weeks to grow 90 feet tall? Or did it take the Chinese bamboo 5 years to grow 90 feet tall? You will not give up along the line. So many relationships does not last 1 year. The most striking one is one guy that I know. I think I used to speak to him. He left South Africa and went down to his country to get married, and he just got married. He got married. Before you know it, I was so shocked. I was following it on the social media. I saw the marriage on Facebook. It was powerful. It was great. He got married on Saturday. On Sunday, he divorced. Saturday, marriage. By Sunday, the marriage crashed. He called me on phone and spoke to me that this marriage has crashed. A day-old marriage. That marriage, I tried every single thing I could to get that marriage repaired, but that marriage never got repaired. Today I thank God, he's married to another person, and they are also living in a very happy home. But the question I'm saying here is, marriage is required. Foundation. Now let me begin to get into this. What are the principles? What are the materials that are required for you to lay solid foundation in your marriage relationship? I'm going to give you 7 of them. I don't know what I can do, what time that is remaining for me now, but I want you to understand the 7 of them. 7 principles for you building the foundation of a marriage that will last. The number 1 is the principle of understanding. The first material you need is understanding. In Proverbs chapter 3, verse 19, the Bible says that by wisdom, God founded the earth, but by understanding, he established the heavens. By understanding, he established the heavens. You need understanding. You need understanding for you to establish and found and lay a solid foundation for your marriage. You need to understand what marriage is all about. A lot of people enter into marriage without understanding what the marriage is all about. You need to have an understanding. Last week, I dealt with what marriage is. If you've not watched that particular episode, go back to episode 6 and take some time and look at the 4 definitions of what marriage is all about that is already provided for you on this platform. The second thing you need is that you need to understand the kind of marriage you want to build, because today we have 2 kinds of marriages. We have 2 kinds of marriages. We have covenant marriage and we have contract marriage. Contract marriage is a hybrid marriage that was formulated in the heart of modern man. It was not God's original purpose. You remember that Jesus said, but why did Moses ask us to divorce our wife if she doesn't fit into our terms and condition? He said from the beginning it was not so, but Moses allowed it because of the hardness of your heart. So contract marriage do exist, but it is not a covenant marriage. So you need to know the two kinds of marriage relationship that is available, and then you need to understand the principles that regulates two of them. There are different principles. The way you live or you do covenant marriage is different from the way you do contract marriage. I'm telling you, it's not the same. If you use the principles of contract marriage to run a covenant marriage, it's not going to work. And that's what is happening to our generation, because you did a marriage relationship in church or whatever, you think it's a covenant marriage. No, it is not where you did it. You can do it in the court or do it everywhere, but the foundation, there are principles that makes your relationship or your marriage a covenant marriage and not a contract marriage. So you need to understand the kind of marriage you want, and the principles that are guiding or regulating that particular kind of marriage. The third thing you need to understand is that you need to understand your spouse. As I have said here today, you don't just need to understand the abilities of your spouse. That's what we look for before we say I do. We look at how charming the man is. You look at the abilities of the man, but you don't look at the weaknesses of the man. I challenge you, the first thing you need to know is the weaknesses. Is he a drunkard? Is it a Casanova? Who is he? Is he a paranoid person? Is he a pathological liar? Who is this particular man? And who is this particular lady? Do you know his or her weaknesses, even if he doesn't change? Because people don't change because they love you. Even if he or she doesn't change, can you live with the weaknesses? So you need that particular understanding. And then when you have looked at all those things, at least the basic one, I'm not saying that you're going to have a holistic understanding, but you need a basic understanding or in these areas for you to say that I do. So that's the first principle. The first principle is understanding. The second principle is what I call the principle of variety. Principle of variety. Marriage is for male and female. Marriage is for male and female. And you're asking me now, Pastor, what about same-sex marriage? Same-sex marriage is not in the Bible. It's not an original marriage. It's a hybrid marriage that was formulated in the heart of modern men who are looking for escape. So it's the same-sex marriage is not marriage. It's not a kind of marriage. So I want you to understand that marriage in the original institution is made for male and female. Why? Because there have to be varieties. There have to be something that comes from the male that complements from the things that comes from the female. So variety is the life wire of your marriage. You are a male, bring on board what male is supposed to bring. You are a female, don't try to be the male. Even in heterogeneous marriage, a man begin to act like a woman, that crumbles the relationship. Or the woman begin to act like the man, that crumbles the relationship. You are man, bring forth the things that the man's supposed to bring. You are the woman, bring forth the thing that the woman ought to bring. And when two of them come together, it will be a complementary thing that will boost each and every one of you. So you need to understand the principle of variety. Third principle here is what I call the principle of living. The principle of living. The principle of living is a conscious, deliberate evacuation of everyone from your heart. Everyone that have occupied your intimate you must leave that particular place in your life for your spouse to gain the most intimate aspect of your relationship. It's important that you understand the principle of living, because there can never be cleaving without living. You don't bring your uncles and all your mother and all your friends into your relationship. He says that for this reason, a man shall leave his father and his mother. There's no more intimate relationship than that of your mother and your father. So the principle of living have to be activated. The fourth principle is the principle of cleaving. Cleaving can only take place where there is living. And cleaving is a situation whereby both of you are bonding together in the area of your vision, in the area of your dreams, in the area of integration of differences in your life. Value integrations, dream integration, skill integration. You need to integrate yourself. That is what cleaving is all about. But it will not happen until there is living. The fifth principle is the principle of bonding. Bonding is a time when you begin to harmonize. You begin to come together. You begin to act as one. The sixth principle, because of my time, the principle of heart issues. The state of your heart decides if your marriage is going to stand or if your marriage is going to crumble. The state of your heart. Moses, because of the hardness of the people, compromised the standard of relationship so that the people can have it at their convenience. So the heart of a man is the place where the foundation of a relationship is built. Who are you? What kind of heart do you have? Do you have the heart of forgiveness? Or do you have the heart of jealousy? What kind of heart do you have? What's the orientations of your heart? If we open your heart, is it filled with jealousy? What kind of thing that is in your heart? And lastly, the last principle I'm talking about is the principle of submission. Yes, a wife should submit to the husband, but don't forget that also the submission is to one another. You cannot, because you say you are a man, you don't submit to the good suggestions, things that your spouse is showing you. Don't forget that when you are focused, you are blind in some area. My time is gone, and I get to go right now. And don't forget that this is F.I.N.D Relationship, a place that helps you to figure out your spouse, help you to integrate your differences and your values, help you to navigate against all, or I believe it. I believe that you can navigate against that all. I believe that relationship can be driven onto that place where you begin to enjoy instead of enduring your relationship. Don't forget to email me. Don't forget to drop your comment. Don't forget to send your questions. I really celebrate every one of you. I see that the viewership is growing, especially those of you in Nigeria, those of you that are in the United States. We are really monitoring the views, and here also in South Africa and Cape Town, we're really monitoring where the largest viewership is coming from. I want you to send it to somebody. Help us spread it out. Share it on the social media. Save somebody's relationship, because I believe that one information can change a whole lot of things in people's life and their relationship. Till I see you again in the next week's stream, I'm still your relationship coach,